All right, fellas, we are live checking out the new equipment. So if you're new, dropping in, let me know how it sounds. It's all about the sound. Is the music too high? Do I turn it down? Do I need to turn up? But yeah, man, we're back, for a little lightweight, low key stream. Um, you know, Boxing's been slow since Bud and Canelo. Salute Eric Gomez. Thank you, Bomb Squad, Little Virgil, and Little Bam. Yep. It's crazy to think that's how they started out, right? And now they're big timing it. So, that's the crazy run these guys have, man. They are dedicated from knee high to a fly. They start out as babies in the boxing game. Let's go. Yes, Mexican boxing number one. He's a real one, man. That dude, man, is everywhere. Don't get it twisted. Give me 1 second. Nah, don't give me a second. How does the audio sound? Are we live? Are we cool? Give me 1 second. It sounds like we're happening. So let's get into it, man. New era Mexican fighters that are monsters. Virgil, Bam, David. Yeah, man. Mexican boxing, bro. Look, there's American boxing, there's Mexican boxing, there's Euro boxing, there's the UK boxing scene. Boxing's worldwide, man. But Mexican lineage, just a long history of great fighters. And in my opinion, they keep the sport alive. That's not a knock against Eastern European fighters. That's not a knock against American fighters. It's just a reality. Mexican boxing number one. The Boxing Voice Nest just purposely talks about black fighters because majority his audience is black, and he just wants to get paid by them. Yeah, I think he's Dominican. Look, I mean, black fighters are good fighters. I'm not gonna get on here and say they're not, right? But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, they don't. Um, Mexican descendant boxers, they're kind of the B side, as they get, like Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Roach. They're making Isaac Cruz the B side, but they need Isaac Cruz to sell the pay per view. When they start talking about Mexicans, they all hate on the topic. Like, explain how they hate. Frank, saludos, paisa. Okay, que chingue, a real one. Hit the like, guys. Hit the like. We're back. We're starting slow, hoping to get the numbers up. Let people know that this is where they can come and don't have to hear the hypocrisy or the BS. Like, I listen to some of those places, the Boxing Voice, mainstream. We're talking about mainstream. I guess there's new guys like Two Tone, the superstar. You know what, man? Showbiz. I affectionately call him Showjiz. Uh, Yesterday the topic was about when and versus Resendiz, and the show ended early. Oh, Bernalgas. Yeah, Resendiz had that good win against was it? It was Caleb Plant. Yeah, that was a good fight, and Resendiz kicked his ass, and he's a smaller guy. And yeah, Berlanga Resendiz is a in my opinion a good fight. A fight that Bernalgas has to win, because he's pretty much a bum at this point. He's just a really big guy. Pause. Um, but yeah, man, there you go again. Another example of a Mexican fighter coming through. And look, man, there is a bias. There is a bias on both sides, right? Resendez, do you think he can beat Bud? I don't know, man. I mean, it's a stretch, bro. Bud Crawford, he has Snack on his side. He's a good fighter. When I talk about the Shakirs and the Buds and the Booty Ennises, I never say that they're trash. I think they're good fighters, but we just know how they move. They move funny style. The Latin American, the Eastern European, they have to fight everybody. Ice Agent, salute. And hey, that's the enemigo. But it is what it is, man. People gotta eat, they gotta live. So if you work for that company, good luck. Yeah, they're good, but our fighters are better. Virgil Duck Bakaram. I don't think so, man. Who is Bakaram? Like, who is that guy? But what do you guys think? Lubin and Virgil. Is this a tune-up of Virgil? Is this a real fight? I mean, should he win easily? Does Lubin have a chance? Because I'm hearing a lot of that Lubin has no chance, and I'm hearing people say that Virgil is really not that good. And that's why I wanted to do this live, because I was in a space and there was a gentleman, not a bad person, but he's for the other side. I mean, it's cool. Virgil round 3 KO is gonna be a statement. I hope you're right. I hope you're right because Lubin's best chance to get a victory is to make it a Virgil ice agent. Virgil overwhelms him. Um, I hope so. I hope you guys are right. I hope you guys are right because my prediction. Now, man, you know what, man? I mean, obviously, I've got some picks wrong this year. I haven't been around, but when watching, I still have watched every single fight pretty much. But I wanted Zepeda to win and he lost. That's a wrong pick. Wanted the Canelo to win and he lost. That's a bad pick. We need Boots versus Virgil early 26. Yeah, I think it's 50-50 if that fight happens. I had said in a space that I don't think, look, man, if somehow Oscar some way gets wind of Frank Bay and wants to hear a boxing fan, I'm going to say something controversial people are not going to like. But if I'm Virgil and his team, Virgil, go after Xander. Go after Xander and beat Xander and get his belt. Make it Mexico versus Puerto Rico. I promise you that'll be bigger and a better win than Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis has fought nobody. He doesn't even have a belt. At least Jaron Ennis has a belt. And let Jaron Ennis go fight somebody. Let him go get you, Virgil. You fought Madrimov and you fought Bokachuk in wars. You beat Madrimov way better than Bud Crawford, who, in my opinion, arguably lost or deserved a draw, not a victory against Madrimov. And you went in there and made a statement. Yeah, people say you lost against Bokachuk, but that was an outstanding victory, a fight of the year candidate. So, don't look, man. These guys, they want to, they're predators. They want Virgil to take damage against Erickson Lubin, and then Jaron Ennis will sign up. Supposedly he's gonna be there at the fight, scouting Virgil, right, to try to make the fight happen. But Jaron Ennis already turned down the fight. See, and you can go on spaces and other places, and they are making every excuse that for Jaron Ennis ducking because he ducked the fight. There's no other way around it. He ducked the fight with Virgil. Look, you can say what about Virgil and this and that, but Jaron Ennis ducked the fight. Mexican boxing. Boost sees Virgil get a fast KO. He will exactly. That's what I predict. Now, if Virgil's in a war, he will find up. You just love Mexicans, so you're not picking logic. You probably make better picks when Mexicans are fighting. It has nothing to do with Mexican or Mexico or Latinos or African Americans. It has nothing to do with that, man. It's boxing, right? There's a winner, there's a loser, and you go based on what you see. And I haven't seen much from Jaron Ennis. You can't watch his last fight versus Lima Bean and tell me you've seen anything worked. Anything. That guy literally walked in, took a hit, and fell down. Mexican boxing. David Benavidez headlining over Haney versus Bryan, and that gets them mad. Does it? I mean, why would they be mad? I mean, they're guys fighting. But I guess, I mean, if you're being petty, picking Zepeda over Shakur is kind of insane. No, look, I said, if you notice what I said I wanted Zepeda to win. But look, man, they're always going to favor the ass style like Shakira. I mean, look, Shakira was getting his ass kicked. I mean, look, man, I mean, there was a person trying to say he stood toe-to-toe. He did not stand toe-to-toe. Was he ever in the center of the ring exchanging? No, he chose a safe space. He could lean against the ropes, take unanswered shots, and then throw like a pitter patter and then dance around. Technique, Frank, salute. Yeah, I mean, that's what he did. I mean, look, if you looked at it objectively and you just see one guy throwing 1,000 punches and the other guy just sitting there smiling with his buck-tooth beaver look, I would say Zepeda won. But he didn't get it. And that's another fight. He got no credit. He got no credit for throwing 1,000 punches. And Shakir is twice his size. He's a snack agent. So look, man. Look, man. If you understand boxing, you understood that Bud Crawford had a chance because of his alliance with Turkey. That's how it works, man. We've seen these scandals, these betting scandals. There's a lot of money besides the purses on the line. There's futures at stake. They make things happen. Hey. Sometimes our fighter gets a gift, and sometimes their fighter gets a gift. That's just how it goes, man. That's just the nature of the beast. So, I pick with my heart, but if I'm betting money, I'm gonna use my mind. I wouldn't put $1,000 on Zepeda. That's ignorant. So what you're talking about is that I just threw dumb money at Zepeda. That didn't happen, right? I may bet someone a friendly bet, like, oh, $50 on Zepeda. I'm not gonna be tripping about losing it. I'm surprised they didn't talk smack to you on the Johnny show. Oh, yeah, but I kept my cool. You know what I'm saying? That dude was trying to say a bunch of ignorant things, about like Madrimov was sick, and I'm like, okay, bro. And if you notice, I said, hey, did Madrimov use that excuse? He was like, no. And then he kind of tried to gloss over it. Frank the Tank, Boxing Kangaroo, salute. They only talk up. Well, look, man. I mean, they're on the East Coast, right? They're like from New York. They're like a lot of Puertorriqueños. What Johnny show? The Hangout Spot. Go check him out. He's got a good show, man. He's cool, bro. He lets you talk, and that's one thing I respect. Look, man, you can have your views and opinions, but if you let people talk and you're fair, that's all that counts. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the people that won't let you have a view and opinion. Like me, I'll let you have your view and opinion, and you can disagree with me. I'm ready to hash it out. Johnny's got a great platform, bro. Yeah, he does. That's what I said. He's fair. He lets people talk, and that's all you can ask. It's called the Hangout Spot, and that's all you can ask for, bro. And you know who they are. I know you guys are everywhere, and that's good. So am I. I listen to people because I like to hear different views and opinions. You know what I'm saying? But there's a time and a place to let your views and opinions know, and there's a time and a place to let other people talk. I learned early on that getting in shouting matches wasn't gonna be profitable for me. I mean, they're just gonna kick you out if you just start screaming and crying. But that's just something you learn, right? You just learn. Like, you guys know who the freaks and geeks and weirdos are in these spaces, and you like who you like. At the end of the day, it has to be entertaining. And me, I think I have a unique perspective. I'm gonna say what I think is the truth. So, like I was saying about, I seen that guy before. Yeah, man. Look, man, I'm never gonna be a hater. You like who you like. I'm not gonna say fuck that guy or fuck that person because they don't agree with me. Look, man, you go like and subscribe to everybody. It doesn't hurt. I mean, you just, if you don't like them, you just don't watch them. You can like and subscribe. And it's good to see different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? But what I notice is the other side, the enemigos, they don't let you speak. That's the big difference between us and them. Is that there is a big difference. They will not let you speak. They will boot you from their chats. They will not allow you in their discords and spaces. So you go where the getting is good, with agreeable people. But sometimes it's okay to have a difference of opinion. Some of you guys maybe think Vergilt lost to Boca Chuck. Maybe that guy that I was in the space with, what Mexican boxing is talking about, he tried to say that he really tried to push the Madrimov beat Vergilt Ortiz. He said, and that the only reason Vergilt won was because Madrimov was sick. So, that's why I wanted to talk about this. And you guys haven't said, does anybody give Lubin a chance? Do you think it's a real fight or is it a tune-up? I mean, look, Vergilt Ortiz is a betting favorite of -7, like 700. Tech G Day, bro. Okay, who's G Day? B Day or G Day? Look, Vergilt Ortiz is a heavy betting favorite. He should win easily. This, he fought a tough fight in Madrimov earlier in February. I guess he had a hand injury. He took some time off and he's coming back at the end of the year. This is not a big fight for him. He people say that his career has been lackluster because he was in line to fight at 147 against Emmanuel Stanionis for a title, right? Carl Technique, salute. JA, salute. Hit the like. Don't forget to hit the like. Never forget, right? So Vergilt Ortiz had a lot of momentum. He was in line to fight Stanionis. He was going to get that strap before Jaron Ennis. right? And then he had the mishaps, the what is it, the rhabdomyolysis, I guess it's like some kind of, when they're weight cutting, um when they're weight cutting, it attacks the muscles, eats the muscles. It's very dangerous. He could have very well have not made it, but lucky enough, he made it, and I think he was out 2 years. That's crazy to think that he was almost at the top of the hill, right? He was going to beat Jaron Ennis to the punch, because that's his comparison, right? It's always Jaron Ennis is his nemesis, and he's been they're compared to each other, and he was gonna beat Jaron Ennis to the punch and get a title first, but unfortunately that happened. Uh, Boxing Kangaroo, bro. Lubin fought a no name in April and didn't fight, and he hasn't. I mean, yeah. Look, man, Virgil pressure will drown him. That's the key, right? That's what we need to see, is what Lubin will show up. Now I know Lubin, he got a gift versus Jesus Ramos. People feel that Ramos was robbed, depending on who you asked. I think he even got dropped in that fight. I mean, Sebastian Fendora made his face look like hamburger meat, right? And Jamel Charlo knocked him out. So Lubin is not long for the road, right? This is basically, essentially, his last stand. Yeah, you thought Ramos got robbed. Yeah, and Ramos is back fighting. He'll be fighting Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. on the Isaac Pitbull undercard. But Ramos kind of coasted, and that was Lubin is damaged. Yeah, we all know that, but he's still dangerous. He's like a fastball pitcher. He's got one fastball, but it's 98. So, if you get a hold of it, you hit it long and hard, right? But if he he can get by you. He comes to fight, but his best opportunity is to box, to outbox Vergil. And Vergil, I just keep saying that he needs to lessen the damage. I think he definitely took some damage against Sergey Bokachuk, and he definitely took damage against Madrimov. One of the arguments that the brother in question was making, he said, "Oh, well, did you see Virgil's face? Did you see Virgil's face?" Which I guess his face is to show that he lost. And then I said, yeah, and look at Bud Crawford's face after he fought Madrimov. I mean, he busted his eye, and the brother said, kind of like, "Okay, next, let's talk about next." Like, literally, I think if you watch his "Okay, next," like he tried to say Virgil's face was busted up. It's a fight. You're getting hit in the face. The mark of a face is not the sign of a beat fighter. And Madrimov, he in an unknowingly way, he kind of outwitted himself, because he was also trying to say that Madrimov won, but he lost because he was gassing. And I said, may have the gassing been the Virgil's hellacious body shots? And he said, "Oh, well, maybe, but I mean, he was sick." I said, "Yeah, but Virgil was attacking that body, relentlessly." And so that's another thing, is like, okay, maybe his face wasn't as marked up, but that was because Virgil, was attacking the body. And somehow, man, these body attacks go, just like Zepeda versus Shakira, like Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, they're attacking the body, and a lot of those don't get scored. Boxing Kangaroo, just so everyone knows, I will take no Virgil slander. I run the Australian chapter of the Vergilt Ortiz fan club. Yeah, man, Virgil should have a bigger fan base, but that 2-year layoff really hurt his stock. He had a lot of momentum, and he had a good win versus Bokachuk and Madrimov, but it's been since February, man. It's boxing. You got to keep the momentum going, and they don't fight as often anymore. Oh yeah, he probably was in line. Lubin priced himself out of the Tim Tszyu fight by wanting $5 million. Wow, so I'm surprised he's taking a better puncher than Tim. Well, he's getting a good payday on this one, right? He's getting a good payday versus Vergil. I think he was in line to fight Mirataliev, but then Vergil came along and offered better money. So, this is Virgil. Like, somebody pointed earlier. Yes, this is Virgil's opportunity to shine. This is a showcase fight for him. He's fighting a decent fighter, and he should come in and destroy Lubin to make a statement. That's what he needs to do, because any damage taken, look, man. Basically, this is going to determine, well, what people are going to assume is how he does against Lubin is how Jaron Ennis will fare against Jaron Ennis, because the majority of people, I would say about 80% of the people are gonna side with Jaron Ennis, right? That's just how people, white, black, even a lot of Latinos, they're gonna because Jaron Ennis has that style. They'll call Vergilt Ortiz a flat-footed Mexican, right? That's what people think. Carl says, Frank, I still think unless Virgil ices Lubin in the first round, Virgil win over Madrimov is still his best win. Yeah. Madrimov is a better fighter than Lubin. Yeah, I want that in 2026, Virgil versus Boots. Yeah, I mean, everybody does, dude. If you're a boxing fan, that's kind of what everybody wants to see. But as we're breaking down the fight, people going for Lubin said that Lubin can outbox Virgil. Because like I said, they think, they see the name Vergilt Ortiz. Oh, he must be a flat-footed Mexican. Oh, he has a lot of knockouts. That means he's flat-footed. For some reason, that's just the natural assumption of people that watch boxing, right? And if a guy can move a little, and he's slick, then he should box circles around Vergilt Ortiz. And I told the guy, as we're breaking down the fight, I said, I think Madrimov is 3-4 times the boxer that Lubin is. I mean, Madrimov arguably outboxed Terrence Crawford, and Vergilt Ortiz beat him convincingly. So how is Erickson Lubin going to outbox Vergilt Ortiz better than Madrimov did? If you look at it like that, I mean, I don't think that's triangle theory. I think that's looking at styles. And Madrimov is a really good fighter. I mean, look what he did against Bud Crawford. Supposedly, he walks on water, Super Bud. So, Vergilt Ortiz, man, he has to make a statement. He has to look good, and he has to convince people that he's a wrecking ball, that he cannot be stopped. But people are still going to go with Jaron Ennis just because of styles. But, when you're looking at Jaron Ennis, you go, man, what has he done? You can't tell me that Lima Bean was any type of threat. Carl says Virgil has IQ. Look at his win over. Yes, McKinson was like a mover. He was beating Mickey's brains, and his father had him go to the body, and he stopped him. Yeah. He had a body attack. He did. I think he was grabbing the side. It was pretty vicious. But, that was a long time ago, man. A long time ago. And Virgil, he's a big guy, he's posting pictures. He looks like a super middleweight, maybe almost a light heavyweight, He has to really cut a lot of weight. It's hard for him. So, he has to look good, and he has to look better than he did against Madrimov. And I don't know. I thought he beat Madrimov pretty convincingly. Did Madrimov have success? Yeah, but man, Virgil's body attack was vicious, man. I mean, he was banging on Madrimov's body. Like when I'm gonna try to rewatch the fight, but I urge anybody, go rewatch that fight. Boots went 24 with Karen. Yeah, and Karen's a mover, and he was tagging Jaron Ennis. But that's not going to be Virgil style, But look, man, we haven't seen anything. The Emmanuel Stanionis fight. I mean, look, man, Jaron Ennis, he looked like a light heavyweight in there. He was 4 times the size of Stanionis. It was like fighting a midget. Stanionis had no chance. I thought maybe he could give Boots some work. But Jaron Ennis, man, he's with that snag. He's got something cooking, man. Because it's ironic that he claims he couldn't fight Norman. He didn't want to fight Norman. They were kind of going back and forth. I think they ducked each other. But he was claiming, because I think that was around the time he was offered the Virgil fight. But he said, no, I want undisputed. I'm not moving up until undisputed. Then after he fights Stanionis, then Oh, well, no, I can't make the weight anymore. But during the whole time leading up to Stanionis, when it was rumored that he was offered the Ortiz fight, he said, "No, undisputed is all I'll go for. All I want to do." Virgil was snack too, bro. Well, good. I mean, like, I don't care. It just we gotta acknowledge it. People say if I talk about people being on snack or something, it's not like the guy that I'm rooting for isn't. I'm like, dude, you better be right because everybody you're fighting is gonna be. So, dude, you have to be on something. I'm not. I don't know what it is. It could be legal, it could be illegal, but you have to have the extra gear in these tough, grueling fights, especially if you know that other people are. It's like Gervonta Davis. When Victor Conte passed away, Gervonta had said, "Oh, good, now these guys won't have that snack anymore." So, he's a fighter. He must know something that we don't, even though we've been saying it. What's the undercard? Well, Floyd Schofield was supposed to be on it, but he pulled out again. So I don't know. I think like Darius Fulham, something like that. I don't know. It's lackluster, but that David Benavidez, that stat card is coming up, so we just gotta kind of roll with the punches, so to speak, with it. But yeah, back to Virgil, man. And Jaron Ennis. So Jaron Ennis claimed that he wanted undisputed, but then somehow after beating Stanionis, now he wanted to move up. So then he was offered the fight again, and then he says, "Oh, well, I need 2 tune-ups." And Turki Al-Sheikh said, "No, I'm not paying for that. When you're ready to step up, holla." And people overlooked that, and that's coming from Turki Al-Sheikh's own mouth. You know what I mean? Turki Al-Sheikh had said that. Oh, that's Kid Austin disappointing. Yeah, I mean, look, man, that Terran Farmer fight was good for his career, but I mean, who knows, man? This guy's so unreliable. He's put out 3 fights that I know of already. He's shaky. His dad runs his career, and they got all these excuses. He said Shakir tried to kill him. That was his excuse not to fight Virgil when Oscar wanted it. Yeah, man. I mean, we got to stop with these guys protecting them. I'm not protecting Virgil, but I'm like, Virgil, go fight Xander first, man. Let Jaron Ennis do something. Let him take some damage. You still got to play this game smart. If the other guy's sitting and he's fighting bums and he's waiting for you to take damage, then you got to point that out and call that out. And that's just me as a boxing fan trying to think of as a manager, as a promoter. You got to do what's best for your guy, and look at the threats that he has. Xander don't want Virgil, bro. Yeah, I think Xander does, but I think his team doesn't, because Xander claims that he offered Vergilt Ortiz a fight, and Virgil had said no. That's what Xander was claiming, because they were going back and forth on Twitter. But I honestly, I don't see Virgil as a duck, and Xander, as far as Xander, yeah, Top Rank will protect him, because Top Rank is very smart. Xander is probably the weakest link. I think he's good, but they need to protect Xander from himself, and make some money first before he gets the big fights. And then maybe next year, at the end of next year, he'll have the big fights. You know what I'm saying? So we got to wait and see. But this is the hottest division, man. 154. You got maybe possible Jermell Charlo coming back, throwing his hat in. You got Vendora. What's supposed to happen with Queef Thurman. Queef Thurman is still there. Earl Spence is still there if he ever comes back. So 154 is a hotbed of action. It's just we're probably not going to see it. I mean, look, man, I was telling people last night, Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis is going to be a pay-per-view. So I hope you're ready to pay for that. And that's the thing. Are they a big enough name for them to sell on pay-per-view? I don't know. I'm not too sure about it. So, we kind of got to wait and see on all these fights. But we're at the end of the year. We got this little appetizer, Lubin, Virgil. The best thing for boxing fans is a good fight. Because if Virgil goes in and destroys him in one, then that's not good for the fans. I mean, it's good for Virgil Ortiz, but it's not good for the fans. Fans at the end of the day, even their favorite fighters want to see a good fight. Because you think about Jaron Ennis, right? If you're a fan of him, you pay money to watch him. You have the zone, or you go to the fight. You spend hundreds of dollars for tickets, and you watch that shit show. And that's not good for the fans. That's like, it's like going to the strip club and you pay for a lap dance and she like, you get one cheek grab and she twerks and gone. It's like, what? I paid for that? She's not going to get a return customer. You got to give the fans competitive matchups so that they want to keep buying. It's about having people return, and I guess Lubin and Ortiz are struggling at the box office. They're saying Virgil's not a ticket seller, and the reality is that you know it's not a big enough fight. Now I'm pretty sure Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz will sell. The question is, will it sell on pay-per-view? So don't get it twisted. We want the fight, but they're gonna put it on pay-per-view, and then the fans are gonna cry, and that's just kind of the twisted nature of fans and people alike. They want what they want, but they don't want to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if anybody wants to rebuttal me or come against me. I think it will sell. You're saying Jaron Ennis, Vergil Ortiz will sell? You think it's gonna sell on pay-per-view? I don't think so. You guys really don't know how little people know who these guys are. Nobody knows who Jaron Ennis is. There's literally nobody who knows who he is. Think about it. If people knew who Jaron Ennis was, he would get a Crawford fight. They would be forcing him to fight Crawford, right? But he's so little known, Crawford doesn't have to fight him. More people know who Jermell Charlo is and Earl Spence is than Jaron Ennis. And the sad part, the weak part about it is that if boxing was fair, then Jermell Charlo or Earl Spence or Bud Crawford would have given Boots Ennis his chance. Now imagine had Boots Ennis beat Earl Spence, how he would become a bigger star, or even Charlo. But they don't want to do that. These Crips are delusional. Salute, Chitlin, long time no see, homeboy. That's a big fight, but only the heart. Exactly. And I'm just gonna say this controversial take, but that fan base, the Earl Spence, Crawford, Boots Ennis, they're all a lot of the same fan base. They all are, they fight amongst each other, but when it comes to facing the other side, like a Vergil Ortiz, they'll unite. You understand what I'm saying? So, they would rather protect Bud Crawford, protect Jaron Ennis, Earl Spence, Charlo. They don't want to see their guys fight each other. They want Vergil to fight everybody so that they can feed off Vergil. Are you guys picking up what I'm dropping? That fan base, they will protect Jaron Ennis and Bud Crawford, Earl Spence, and Charlo. Just like they protect Shakira and Haney. Like they're saying that Bud Crawford doesn't have to fight anybody anymore. That's what they say about Jaron Ennis, that he really doesn't have to fight anybody. But Vergil, Canelo, they have to fight everybody. They want Vergil to lose. Yeah. They want Vergil to lose. Well, they're smart too. Don't get it twisted. They're smart, savvy boxing fans. They really are. I mean, I think they know the sport. I don't think they know it as well as I do. Not that I know everything. But what I'm saying is I know the sport of boxing well enough to know that I see through their BS. How about that? J.A. What is J? To be fair, it's the same with the Latino fan base. You see it after the Crawford-Canelo fight. You had Canelo fans begging Benavidez to go back down to 160 and beat Crawford. How is... No. The Latino fan base is entirely different. They support their fighters that lose. They never abandoned Barrera or Morales or Marquez losing to Manny Pacquiao when they lost to Floyd Mayweather, right? They never abandoned them. So you're absolutely 100,000% wrong. Are there segments? Sure, that's with every fan base. But more than anything, they want to see Canelo fight everybody. There was never a Latino fan base that didn't want to see him fight Triple G. So that kind of destroys that narrative right away. And Vergil Ortiz, the fan base they want to see him fight Jaron Ennis. When did they ever say no? He did. No, it's that fan base that tries to protect their fighters. Now, if you're saying they don't, it's when we see how they move, we say, hey, Vergil, no, go after Xander. Don't give Jaron Ennis that opportunity until he goes fight somebody. Let him take some damage. You see what I'm saying? It's just like play or be played, right? It's just like the dating game, right? If you see a chick if she's not committed, then don't be committed to her. Don't stop dating if she's out there dating, right? Now, if she stops dating other guys, then you can give her the mutually exclusive, right? But you're a simp and you're a sucker if you become mutually exclusive and she's still dating other people, then you're just a chump. J.A., that's not my point. I'm talking about your point where you said they'll fight amongst each other, but will unite when they fight a Latino. Is that not true? You're saying the Latino fan base does it? Nah, I think no, because the Puerto Ricans hate the Mexicans. So Puerto Ricans will will team up with them to see a Mexican fighter lose to protect their fighter, just like they want to protect Xander Zayas, right? Look, man, that's just my point of view. I think that's how it works. Not to say it's 100% correct, but I think amongst Latino fans, they're more divided and they don't unite as quickly and as much because they're too biased for their own to unite. Whereas with the Duran Ennis, Earl Spence, they understand that they don't want to knock each other off. They'd rather see the Eastern Europeans or the Latino fighters they knock each other off. Right? I don't know. I have to do one of those tier lists to show you what I'm talking about. It's just like street territory. I guess that's how it works in the Pinta. Like you can be from either side of a Latino gang or an African American gang, but once you hit the Pinta, they all unite. That's just how shit works. You know what I'm saying? But there's still division. But in boxing, that's how boxing works from what I've seen. Xander fans will unite with Boot fans to knock Vergil off. Rage bait failed. Who's the rage bait? I don't know. Elaborate. Salute, Mark. CCD in the building. Check it. Yeah, man, I'll drop the link if anybody hits a 1 and wants to chat. So we're just cooking, man. How do you guys feel? Is Vergil the one? Do you think at the end of the day, who will end up number 1? Fedora, Vergil, Zayas, Duran Ennis? Is there a dark horse? Look at Tank getting a gift draw against Roach and his fan base booed him. Who? Tank Davis? No, they're still Gervonta's Tank Davis fangirls. Oh, they love Gervonta. Maybe a few, but a lot, like I said, okay. So amongst themselves, they have the division with Haney, Shakira, the incel with the Sonny Edwards profile picture. Oh, I don't know, man. I think that's somebody we know. He's always here. JA is loyal, man. He's not selling shit, bro. Salute, Frank. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you. Appreciate it. Gervonta, no, he's still a name, Carl. I hear what you're saying. His pimp views are dropping. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but they don't buy pay-per-views anyway. Only Canelo fan base is really Canelo's fan base bought pay-per-views. The rest, not so much. Gervonta had a mob, a crazy fan base. Yeah, where you been, Frank? I've been around, man. I've been watching boxing. I just stepped away from the YouTube game and social media because I told you guys my chick was gonna leave me. She said this pussy or YouTube. So I had to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, after this, I gotta, take her out to dinner. You gotta be, smart out here, man. She didn't believe me when she said I was talking to dudes all day. Like, yeah, no way you're talking to dudes about boxing. She thought I was probably out there banging other hizzos, So, that's how it goes, man. You can't chase them forever, man. You gotta retire your jersey. You ain't getting no pussy on YouTube. Yeah, man. It's YouTube. It's the pussy or YouTube. And I gotta get some, man. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. So that's what it is, man. So but I'm back for now, until she gives me the business. You can call me whipped or whatever, but I don't care. I'm getting some, and eating good. So you guys will do the same too. Don't even act front like you're all pimps and players. Eventually you got to retire the jersey. You can't be chasing hoes all your life, man. You'll end up lonely and broke and busted and nobody to take care of you. That's just the reality, you know. And boxing is always there, you know. One thing I know is boxing will never leave me. My girl may leave me, you know, friends and family may leave me, but boxing will always be here, and I appreciate that. You know, the real ones come through, and that's what I fuck with. So, you know, look, Virgil, if you're listening, what do you guys think? Am I wrong? Should he go after Zayas before Jaron Ennis? Boxing kangaroo. I've been married for 30 years, bro. My wife is glad I'm on. She's like, go talk to your friends. Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? You just gave me an idea. That's what I should do. I should smother her, spend all my time with her, and then she'll be like, dude, please get a life, bro. Go get some friends. You know what? You just gave me an idea. You know, I'm going to give her what she wants. That's the secret, right? Give her what she wants. See, I'm being stubborn and trying to be the man. Sup, Frankie? Sup, Sarge? Salute. Right? I'm trying to be macho. Like, I ain't letting that bitch tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do boxing. I'm going to talk boxing. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Then I got no food. She don't cook. She don't do nothing. She out. She leaving me high and dry. And I don't get none. You know what I'm saying? But now, dude, I'm going to give her all the attention she can handle. You know what I'm saying? Then she'll be begging me, like you said, to come back on here. But, yeah. Where was we at? So, Virgil, man, is he the one? I'm a huge fan because, you know, you got to be a fan of a guy with like Nate currently watching with. Okay, that's disgusting. Nobody wanted to hear that in the history of boxing YouTube. Okay? Keep it boxing, brother. But check it out. Vergilt Ortiz, is he the one? Do you guys think Jaron Ennis is there anybody listening to me in the chat that thinks Jaron Ennis is the one, the chosen one? You know, I like Bernalgas is the chosen one. Is Vergilt Ortiz going to end up with his hand raised? And that's the crazy thing is that we there's Jaron Ennis, Fundora, Ortiz. There's still Madrimov. I think Bokachuk moved up. Keith Thurman is there. There's just so many. Charlo, Spence. Like I said, man, there's a lot of names in this division. It's hard to say who will end up number one. Virgil beats Boots, but that's a tough 50-50 fight. Yeah, you know, you're going to see a lot of people go for Jaron Ennis. That's just how it's going to be. And it's going to be the same story. He's nothing but a flat-footed Mexican. But again, man, like I said, Virgil, I'd rather see Vergilt Ortiz versus Xander Zayas. Imagine Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Vergilt Ortiz, Xander Zayas. Virgil not selling. Yeah, that's what I heard, man. But you got to understand, man, he really been out the game. He fought in Saudi Arabia against Madrimov. So, you know, that's what people don't understand. Oh, he's not selling. Well, he hasn't been fighting. He fought one time this year. He'll have fought again at the end of the year. And then that's it. We won't see him till mid next year, hopefully. So, you know, like Xander had a win, but he didn't take much damage. He should be fighting at the end of the year, and we're not seeing him. We haven't seen Fundora. Jaron Ennis fought a straight lima bean, and we're not going to see him. So, you know, it's really hard to say, man. Really hard to say. But, you know, the other news is Teo Shakur. I guess it's imminent. They're saying it's almost a done deal. How do we feel about that? And, you know, the same usual suspects. Shakir is going to school Teofimo. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about Teofimo, but I think he has a very good opportunity to beat Shakira because Shakir fights like a bitch. He already said it. I've never heard in the history of fighting somebody have a tough fight and then say, oh, I'm never fighting like that again. I mean, what in the bitch made shit is that? And they love it. His fans say, oh, yeah, he beats a pay to see. He beat a flat-footed Mexican, and he don't need to prove nothing to nobody no more. Like, wait a minute. So you want to see him run and put on a snoozer? That's what you want to see? That's your pound-for-pound fighter? And Teo, you know, the way they're talking, Teo's going to be the underdog. And I'm like, wait a minute. Teofimo has the better wins, the better resume, is more accomplished, is the lineal champ at 140, which a division Shakira has done nothing at, and Teofimo is going to be the underdog. That's just kind of a crazy boxing world that we live in, man. Teofimo, you know, haven't beat probably a Hall of Famer and maybe Josh Taylor, a Hall of Famer. Lineal, you know, should have been undisputed, is going to be the underdog against buckwheat Shakira. That's wild, man. That's crazy to me. I don't understand the world that we're living in, man. Was the Zepeda win good? I mean, it was okay. I didn't really see him do much. I mean, he pitter pattered, moved around. He was, way bigger than Zepeda, but I didn't really see him like go beast mode. They know Shakira ass style is hard to exactly. I know that too. So yeah, Tio is gonna have a uphill battle. He really is, because he's gonna have to chase that guy, and Tio doesn't look good going forward. And Shakira does have the size and reach advantage on Teofimo. I'm pretty sure he will on fight night, and he'll be able to kind of like keep him away, move, put his hand out, measure him, slap and run. Shakur schools Tio. Yeah, you saying that with your head or your heart? You want Shakira to win? Again, I want Tio to win, but it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough just because Shakira can stink the joint out and move around and do some buster shit. It'll be ugly and bad. So, but yeah, man. Unless anybody wants to hop on, I'm a dip out. We've gone 45 minutes. Just wanted to test out some stuff, see how the microphone looked, felt, worked. But yeah, man, that's my breakdown. Vergil, he should fight hard, good, beat Lubin down, take no damage, and head into a Duran Ennis fight if he steps up. If Vergil takes damage, I don't know. We're gonna see some questions. Vergil might have to take some time off, recover, postpone a Duran Ennis fight. I would go after Xander Zayas. I think that's a better matchup for Vergil. It's more money and it's bigger. Duran Ennis has no fans, and he needs to fight somebody. Make Duran Ennis take some damage. Make him fight somebody. Make Vergil get a title. Duran Ennis get a title, and they fight late 2026. And make sure there's stringent. There's drug testing, so Duran can't go in as a light heavyweight. And as for Tio Shakur, hopefully it happens, but I don't really care because it has snoozer written all over it. But Tio, if he does have an opportunity to beat Shakira, he's more athletic and he's faster than anybody Shakira has ever fought. He's probably more athletic than Shakira, and he has the quicker hands than Shakira. But we know Shakira is more of a kill to action. He'll do a lot of grabbing, jabbing and grabbing, and things of that nature. So yeah, man, I'll be back later in the week. We'll see how it goes. Let's get those likes up. Thank you for dropping by, and I guess if nobody wants to drop in for a couple minutes, we're gonna dip. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.